Nice sets, everybody.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
everyone. Risnor, Burstup, Gannon, Linksy, and Nullstruck for making this night an amazing event and an amazing night. So, for those of you who don't know, i.W.A.I.T is I'm Warned, and it's today where I invite my good friends to come DJ with me. Usually it's on a Thursday during the time where most of these European people are asleep. So I like to do at least once a month have a Saturday event where they can participate without having to completely screw their sleep cycle. Um, so let's go in the. We'll start off in the order of DJs for the event to answer the questions, and then eventually we may go just round robin or open. Whoever wants to answer can answer. First question: how long have you been DJing for? Let's go with Gannon.
All right, I have been. Hello, everybody. I have been DJing from middle of last year, so just under a year now.
All right. Up next in the order will be Burstup. Burstup, how long have you been joining or DJing for?
Oh, I'm probably the oldest guy here. I started in the 1990s, so it's close to 30 years for me. I started with hip hop and then jungle, drum and bass, and I DJed a lot in Second Life and now in VR chat. So yeah.
Nice. Third in the lineup was Linksy. Linksy, how long have you been DJing for?
For me, honestly, it's I'm very new, so I pretty much started at the start of this year, and
Nice.
just enjoying it so far. Yeah,
You did a good job. And
thank you.
fourth in the set, Risnor, how long have you been DJing for?
Since January, so just having fun with it.
Nice. So, and finally, Nullstruck, how long have you been DJing for?
I've been mixing for 12 years now.
Ooh, I think we may have a contender for the longest person mixing. Let's compare. So, how long have you been DJing for, Burstup?
Oh, he wins hands down.
Yeah.
I think what 30.
Yeah, it's not.
He
Yeah,
hasn't.
just it's 30 years. I think my first set was in 1992, actually, in a small club in Vienna, and then in an underground club called Flex, and that club is still a thing in Vienna, and it's really cool. They do a lot of drum and bass and hardcore, and they had a hip hop club and a dub club there, which was every Monday, and I played there once a month. So yeah, it's been a long time for me, and I did DJing and producing bands in that time, and eventually became a radio journalist slash host too. And now I gave up my radio job, and I'm totally focusing on music 100% again, because music is fun.
Awesome. Good to hear. So, what got you into DJing? We're going to go in reverse order this time. So, Nullstruck, what got you into DJing?
So I was already interested in like electronic music and everything. Really got into industrial and synth pop and stuff like that. Then best friend at the time picked up DJing. He's like, "Oh, you should try it." It's like, I've got no musical background. I can't do this. And he's like, "No." He kept pestering me, and finally, a year later, ended up buying a deck and got hooked on it. And I'm now several decks later and still going strong.
Nice. Risnor, what got you into DJing?
Honestly, the pandemic was fairly long for us. I just felt like I needed another hobby. That's another outlet for me. So every day when I drive to work at 4 a.m., I listen to hardstyle. So I went in that direction.
Nice. What got you into DJing, Linksy?
Just a couple shout outs because they're probably they're probably my inspiration, but Valiant Overlight, and Alafox actually. They're the inspirations that sort of brought me into DJing, and I guess I want to sort of have the fun that they're having, which is really nice so far.
Yay.
That's really awesome. That is good to hear. Honestly,
Yeah.
if
So-
Fallon is listening, he'll probably blushing by now.
Are we through with this round already? I
Yeah,
didn't tell
no,
how I got
Burstup,
into
how about you?
DJing it. Yeah, I listen to electronic music, like bands like Depeche Mode and the Pet Shop Boys and stuff like that when I was a kid, and then I grew into hip hop, like the old school hip hop stuff, Grandmaster Flash, and then Run DMC, and then the new school stuff, Public Enemy, and all that. So somehow I was so interested in everything electronic in music, and hip hop was the thing that got me into producing my own beats, and I always had a lot of records, so I was always the kid who brought his records and tapes to my friends' parties. So eventually I would end up in the clubs playing my records there, and it was all based on turntables because there were no CDJs or controllers yet, and so I stuck with that. Yeah, and in VR, for me, it's just the same vibe. It's amazing how much of the same energy I get when I DJ here. It's just so awesome to play music and to dance with everyone.
Yeah, like you had some amazing energy. And where did this
Thank
game
you.
go? Gannon.
Yeah.
There, you remind me. That's what I can see.
Yeah.
What got you into DJing?
Well, I always loved music, and a lot of my friends knew me for having huge playlists of music that's all filled with great bangers. And I started playing VR 2 years ago, and yeah, I learned how to play music through a virtual cable. So I ended up playing at like public lobbies, just directly from YouTube, my playlists, and often I got people dancing. Sometimes even the whole lobbies, and I was really interested in trying DJing. I thought that I'm not going to be good at it at all, but I just went along with it and bought a beginner set, but which I still use and love it. So yeah.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, and that actually leads into my next question. What equipment did you start off with first? I'll leave it up in the floor. Whoever wants to answer first, go right ahead.
All right.
So yeah, like I mentioned before, we only had turntables in the past. So the thing that was in every club all over the world was the Technics SL 1200 or 1210, and you had a mixing desk in the middle, and that was at first these were huge mixers, and then the mixers became smaller and smaller until we invented the battle mode configuration where you have a really small mixer like the Vestix, which has 2 channels and a very cool crossfader, and we rotated the turntables by 90 degrees, so the pitch control would be up there, and the whole setup would be very narrow, so we could be faster on the wheels. So, and then eventually Pioneer created the CDJs. So now we had 2 options, turntables and CDJs, but there were still no controllers. And then Rain invented Serato, where you had a vinyl record with a time code on it, and now you could synchronize WAV files and MP3 files on your PC with the turntables. So in hip hop, we always used this configuration, the Serato thing, and no controllers at all. And I got used to controllers much later, that they were the latest thing. And nowadays, I sometimes use controllers because they're convenient when you go to a party and you don't want to lug around like 30 kilograms of luggage, because the Technics turntables are 12 kilos each.
Yes.
And the Creative Records, so that's a lot of luggage. So in some cases, I use controllers, and I love them. I mean, they've become so amazing now. But I still love turntables most because the handling and the way they feel, the way a vinyl record feels when you touch it. And for the scratching stuff that I do, I think vinyl is the best.
Mm-hmm. All right, who wants to answer next? What did you start off with DJing?
All right. I got a DDJ 400. Yeah, nothing much to say about that. It's just a beginner controller. But yeah, it's a very sweet controller. It was fairly easy to get started with and actually learn it. And mastering it, I am still in the process of it. I don't think that you can ever consider yourself a master of it because it's always something that you can learn on it, like some new techniques, some new methods, or something like this. So, but yeah, the DDJ 400.
Nice. Good deck.
Nice one, yeah.
All right. So we got left Linksy, Risnor, and Nullstruck. Who wants to answer next?
Same as Gannon, but the Serato version, unfortunately, not the record box.
So the DDJ SB3, isn't it?
3 something, yeah. So it's useless. So I use virtual DJ.
Serato is cool.
It's useful.
For my purposes, not so much.
It still works. It works good.
yes. So virtual DJ.
Okay. Linksy.
For me,
Or Nullstruck.
with Gannon, well, pretty much with Gannon, I started off at DDJ 400, but I'm recently starting into 3 channels and 4 channels, so I need a DDJ 1000, and I'm still I need to learn a lot about the 3 channels and just learning how to chain things, make it a bit more smoother.
Definitely reach out to Valent. He'll be more than happy to help you.
Mm-hmm.
We talk.
Yep. Nullstruck, how about yourself? What is your first equipment?
I've been controller all the way. I started off with a Vestox VCI 100 SE. That was before controllers had internal sound cards, so that's kind of fun. So I had an Audio 2 DJ to go along with it.
Nice. All right. So now that we've kind of explained of where we started off with, some of us are still using our beginning equipment. There ain't nothing wrong with that as long as you are having fun and enjoying what you're doing. But what are you currently using now? So you had some pretty awesome looking turntables there, Burstup. What are those?
These are Technics 1210 MK2s. They're actually more than 20 years old, but still work. I have 4 of them. 2 are pretty battered up because I had them on tour, but the 2 turntables I was using today, they are more than 20 years old, but they are like new because they were my reserve turntables for touring, and they rarely got used. I have a Vestax PMC 06 mixer in between them. It's a very basic mixer, but I don't need I don't need effects or anything because I do the stuff with the scratching, and so I don't know. I'm looking into the Rain 72 mixer. That will probably be my next battle mixer. And when it comes to controllers, I recently watched a lot of reviews of the new Pioneer DDJ Rev 7, which has rotating platters. It's 2,000 euros, so it's a bit expensive, but the rotating platters and the fact that in the center of the platters you have a little display, a waveform display, that sounds pretty awesome. So this is probably the next thing I'm going to buy. I also like that it has this battle configuration where you have all the buttons are in the center on the mixing desk section, and the pitch thingy is on top of the whole on top of the wheels. So it's the same configuration that I'm used to when I use turntables. So the Rev 7 looks very interesting, and I love all the Rain stuff. The Rain 12, the Rain 70 mixer. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So Gannon, you saying that you are running. You said you're running with the DDJ 400.
400, right? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the DDJ 400 right now, and I'm planning on using it for a while, but I'm also interested in the DDJ 1000.
Yes.
That's definitely a really good upgrade, or maybe even further. I will see. But yeah, currently it's still the DDJ 400.
Okay. Originally you said DDJ 400.
Yep.
Linksy, what are you using?
It was the DDJ 1000.
Oh, yes.
Still learning on it.
So the ones that we want, as DJs want.
I got lucky. I got
Yep.
lucky as of recent.
Nice.
Gimme.
Now, I think if I remember from FWA Nullstrukt, you actually use a tractor.
Yeah, so I just recently upgraded to Tractor Control S4, and that was after the Denon MC3000 that I've been using for over a decade. Like, it started getting really janky in a live scenario. Like the deck B play button sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. Several of the LEDs were out. Some of the buttons were reliable, some weren't. So it's like, I love that controller to death. I hated to see it go, but it's like, it needs some repair work before I trust it in a live scenario again.
Oof.
But I'm digging the S4. It's been really fun so far.
Nice. Good to hear. So, like, we all have a DJ deck, but you don't necessarily need a DJ deck to actually DJ. You kind of need software. Which software do you guys use?
Well, I'm no surprise since I had the S4. It's like, oh, tractor, yay.
Good choice.
No worries.
For me, it's been Virtual DJ.
Nice.
Free, easy, simple to use. Like anyone can really get started on it.
Same. But everything's off key. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Analyzing is a bit off.
That's why you got to train
So
your ears.
Right.
I've been using Serato most of the time, just because I have the hardware, the interface that goes in between the turntables and the computer. So I didn't see a need to replace that yet. It still works, even though it's many years old. And then I also use Virtual DJ sometimes. I love it because the stems thingy is amazing. I used the stem algorithm for doing remixes for other artists or labels who ask me to remix a song, and then sometimes they don't send me the single tracks of their song or the stems on time, and I just create my own stems with the Virtual DJ stems algorithm, and then I even tried a few things out with those in the DJ software, and also the key algorithm is pretty good, I think. I don't know. It helps with finding out stuff about songs, but I've been using it for these things, not so much for playing sets. But yeah, it's certainly an amazing piece of software, Virtual DJ. Serato is the thing that I'm used to most because of the turntable stuff, and it was the first DJ software that you could use to connect turntables and the PC.
Nice. And Risnorwolf, you said Virtual DJ, correct?
Sorry, you cut out there.
You said you're using Virtual DJ, correct?
Virtual DJ, yeah.
Good.
Simple. It works.
Yep. All right.
Record box over here.
Record box. So, and actually, I started off on Record box as well, but then some of my friend DJs like, oh no, I asked him like, how do you do this? Like, I don't know. Why don't you use this program? I actually use this program. So that's kind of why I'm using Virtual DJ. But Record box was a good program. Maybe if I give it more time, I'd probably do better with it.
Else is a good program for DJing. Was that the question?
Yeah, well, and I'm saying Record box was a good program for DJing.
There's this open source thingy, Mix. That's pretty cool too. It's free.
Oh, nice. What advice would you give to new DJs or people who want to start off in DJing? Open floor.
Well, if you're considering DJing, then be ready to hear the same song over and over again, and make sure that you love it.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're working on a transition, it just doesn't want to work, right? And you try this song with that song, and so on, and it just you just hear the same song over and over and over again, and it can get can get a little bit boring for yourself, even though it's a banger. But you hear that song 100 times, you it just gets repetitive. But if you play it for others, it's maybe just a bit newer for them than for you. But yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think I would have a few pieces of advice. Like, one is, of course, like, stick with it for sure. The first time you start doing transitions and mixing and stuff like that, it's going to be bad, but that's okay. You just keep going, and over time, you'll start developing the ear for like all the technical skills and everything, and it'll just get better and better and better. Find music and people, or find music that you're passionate about, and people that are also passionate about that music. Like, basically, find your crowd, whether it's fellow DJs, ravers, whatever else. And I forgot the last piece of advice.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. Have fun, because if you're having fun, the audience sees that and they have fun.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
You communicate your feelings to the crowd. That's very important. Yeah. If you're not having fun, they're going to feel that, and they're not going to have fun. But yeah, if you're popping, then they're going to pop as well.
Yes.
Yep.
So my advice to DJs would be, yeah, it's important to do good transitions, but don't focus on that because, I mean, matching up two beats, that's the easiest part. The really hard part is to entertain people, to create a dramaturgy, a vibe that gets people into dancing, gets them onto the dance floor. And then also have the courage to try things that don't match up at all. Like, do some hard cuts in between two tracks. Try a little bit of scratching. Try a backspin because it sounds cool. Or I don't know, experiment. Don't be afraid to touch the platters and to play with them and to play with the crossfader. Use it as an instrument. Use your turntables and develop your skills to have fun with these three devices, or this one device if it's a controller. And that energy, that will show, and that will bring people to the dance floor and entertain them. Smooth transitions are cool and everything, but I like DJs who do hard cuts and hard like rough transitions sometimes, and effects and all that stuff. So play
Yeah.
with that and have fun. Have fun is the best advice.
Just
Yes.
find your way of playing. Basically,
Mhm.
you can do it. You can do it in multiple ways, like how you said, hard cut it, or soft transition, or you can have multiple styles in one set. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, and that's also like really important to don't be afraid to mix and match music genres. Like maybe something you come up with something that nobody thought about, or trying out genres that maybe just barely anybody plays. Don't be afraid of it if it's hard, if it doesn't go at first. Like try it.
Nice. Risnorwolf, any advice you'd give to new DJs, or since you guys are relatively new, like what advice would you wish that you were given when you started off?
Just play and have fun. Play for your friends. You hear a lot of people trash talk other, DJs. You can hear them on the on the dance floor, but if it's so easy, then you come up and do this. So we, just keep at it. Keep at what you're doing. That's it. Just keep playing.
Yeah. Speaking of playing, I guess the one good advice I can give is find a friend or find friends, or find a group of friends that you can just play to every once in a while. I know a couple of friends in a distance group that are actually doing that same thing, and to be honest, it's working out well for them. They're actually enjoying it, having fun, doing live sets, and they're all sort of working together to build something, which is really good.
That is awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, finding, your group, or finding, your friends to surround yourself in is definitely a good advice. And just in general, no man's an island. You gotta get out there and make friends. So, where do you see yourself from here? Like, what do you hope to accomplish in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years in your DJ career? I'll give you some time to
So-
think on that.
So for me, the DJing was always part of a thing where I wanted to surround myself with music and music people as much as possible, and to get to know new friends who are into music all the time, and that's connected to, for me, with producing music, with playing in a band, all that stuff. But my future as a DJ is definitely influenced heavily by all the VR stuff. I mean, what we have here is so amazing, and we are probably pioneers with this. And 10 years from now, a lot more people will be into this kind of art, like building maps and playing music and DJing in VR and hosting parties in VR. So it's a big focus of my life at the moment, and yeah, I'll just keep on producing music, recording mixes, and playing live, both in real life and in VR, and bringing the good vibe to everyone, hopefully.
Nice. Who wants to have the next butt to answer?
Well, I guess for me, because I'm so new, I still want to improve. So I need to sort of start branching out and doing. I want to actually start doing a bit more live sets. So maybe more live sets with friends, going back to that, or even live sets in VR chat or IRL, that sort of thing. That's what I want to focus on.
Nice. All right. Who's next?
Yeah, for me, it's like since I went from a two-channel mixer or controller to a 4-channel, it's like I want to see, like, start playing around with the 3rd and the 4th channel, see how I can integrate that into my own mixing style, and work on some of the other genres I don't play as often, like psytrance. Maybe even branch out into a few more genres. And then, yeah, the production, like, that's something I've been wanting to get into for years and years now. Have everything I need to do it, just have to make time for it.
Honestly, I don't think too far into the future. Just get not sober on a real life con and dance with friends. That's it.
Good goals.
Definitely good goals.
Yeah, I don't have also much planned. Actually, I never planned to be a part of a club. Never thought I'm going to play for more than just my friends. I did this out of just curiosity if I can do it, and yeah, but people loved it. So I also stepped on the stage and played live, but I didn't play it in real life yet. I'm not sure if time will come for that. Maybe I don't have anything concrete planned. I'm just planning on bettering myself in regards to DJing, and maybe one day the time will come. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, honestly, like you'll get there. As long as you work on it, you'll eventually get to where you want to be.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Did I get everybody? My ADD brain is not keeping track. Anyone else? Anyone that I did not have answer that question?
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're
good.
good.
All right. So, what is your favorite genre of music to play?
That's a hard one.
Oh, to play.
Oh,
Anything that has hard in the name.
Emphasis in hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're channeling DEFCON, I
Oh.
see.
We have a lot in common. In that
So
respect.
I always like to try new things, like the B-step stuff that I've been playing in VR chat for the past year. I think I'm the only person in Europe or North America who plays that style. It originally comes from Southeast Asia, from Thailand and Vietnam, and I still haven't met anyone else who plays that style in the Western world. And somehow history seems to repeat with that, because in Austria, where I live, in Vienna, I was the first person who did a jungle drum and bass party in 1994, I think. And
Ooh.
my record label that I ran in the 90s, we published the first hip-hop bands, including my own and a few bands of friends, the first German language hip-hop bands in my country. So somehow I don't know, I'm always very early, and that means that I sell like 500 records and I don't earn any money with that. But somehow for me it was always important to do the stuff that I find exciting and new. And now today I played this Jungle Tech Hard Tech set, which that's an old style that's been around for like decades, or at least 10-15 years. But I tried to put my own twist into it by doing all the hip hop scratches. So yeah, I guess it's the new stuff and the never done before stuff that excites me, which is cool. And on the other hand, when things become mainstream, I'm sometimes already bored with it. So that's a bad fundament for a bad basis for making a living with stuff, and even you're always very early. But yeah, that's what drives me, I guess. And yeah, B-Step all the way next year and this year, and maybe a little bit of Jungle Tech and Hard Tech.
That would be awesome. Okay, so Risno, I'm guessing hard style, right?
Anything hard or anything that breaks your neck, that's okay.
How about you, Linksy? Did he answer?
Honestly, okay, if it is drum and bass, but if we want to be specific, I actually want to try and do a lot more Neurofunk, because that's a lot more. I don't know. It's not seen around nowadays, but it's something I really like. It's mental. It's insane.
Ooh, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can get enough tracks for an hour-long set, I may have you back on i.W.A.I.T.
Maybe.
All right, so that's kind of all the questions that I have. Do you guys have any? Actually, wait, there's one more. Flix, one of the most adorable metalheads that you'll ever meet, Heart of Gold, wants me to ask this question. How do you personally deal with the haters? Because as DJs, we will get people who will hate our sets, tell us every single damn thing we did wrong, just be negative Nancy's. How do you deal with them?
That's a good question. I never had one really. Like some okay, like didn't quite like it, especially when I played metal. Like I could see a tomato flying, basically. But yeah, but yeah, you know what? You cannot do good with everybody. Like there will be somebody definitely that it just doesn't like your vibe, and that's completely fine. That's completely fine. You should accept it, and he should just chill. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, agreed.
A good experience. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
A good experience I had was actually from probably last year. Someone didn't like hardstyle, and they were complaining to the DJ about how repetitive they were. And sure enough, no one really cared about the guy, but the DJ just moved on, was super calm, super chill, and I think that's a skill or trait that everyone needs to learn, just being calm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's
I'd say
actually
is like
good.
Following up on that is like definitely like still stay true to yourself and like what you're passionate about. I mean, if it's like I've played clubs before where it's like, okay, what I was really booked to play or what I had in mind for the set wasn't quite vibing with them, and I mean, you still have like inside of the genres you play or whatever. It's like try to find the things that will entice people to get on the floor and start moving. So it's like if you've been playing like kind of a dark and heavy set, it's like maybe try lightening it up a bit. Play some vocal stuff. It's like you can usually find like that's one of the skills that you gain over time is just like being able to watch the crowd, see what that particular crowd's into, and kind of like fine tune your set on the fly to make it work.
Nice.
So I think it's important to surround yourself with people who love you for the person you are and for the music you play or whatever. I mean, that's secondary, of course. If you have a social network that supports you, you can deal with the hate. I didn't hear or receive any hate in VR-Chat yet, and I hope it will stay that way. This community is just awesome, and there's so much love and so much support and positive energy here. I had some bad experiences in real life, like a lot of homophobia and a lot of shit posting on websites and channels that I was active on. But yeah, like I said, with my friends and my networks of people who were amazing and supported me, all the haters seemed very, very small and weak. And so, yeah, just do your thing and believe in yourself and do the things you love. Don't do it for someone else. Do it for yourself and your friends and stick with that.
Nice. Oh, hold on one moment. We lost the stream in the world. If somebody's up, no, hold on. I'll be right back. Zoom.
Yeah, Twitch seems to be down.
Yep, and then we're back.
Okay.
Somehow my streaming PC decided to not have internet connection.
Dope.
Yeah.
But hey, sorry for what you're going through, but at least you had that support.
Yeah, I
social
mean,
network.
and it wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm growing up in the 1990s. That society wasn't as liberal yet when it comes to like sexual orientations and sexism and how open you could be as a I don't know, the kind of characters you had in the music scene in the 90s. That was a different vibe than now, and so yeah, things were good. Some things were bad, and sometimes. I remember one thing where I was on a panel talking about hip hop music in Germany and Austria, and there was a hater in the audience who started to throw homophobic slurs at me. So that was really bad. But
Oof.
I mean, he got silenced by the other guys on the panel and by the audience. So even then I felt a lot more love and support than hate, and it's been like that always. And as I said in VR-Chat, this community is amazing and open and accepting and open for new music styles and new art forms. That's the most important thing. Maybe they are. Everyone here looks into the future and is on a platform that is the future. I mean, all the VR pioneers. Yeah.
And one of the best things about DJing in VR is if you do have somebody who's just really being belligerent and all that stuff, point out open the menu, point out their avatar, click it, hit block, problem solved.
He's gone.
But final question of the night: if you were to send a message back in time to when you were first starting DJing regarding your DJ career, what would you send back? So let me go ahead and kind of preface this. I've asked this to almost every DJ that has been on i.W.A.I.T. A lot of them say that they would send back a message saying you're on the good track. Another one says, you should have started earlier, or dropped that girlfriend because she was nothing but an anchor on your ankle. What would you send back?
Have fun.
Yeah. Don't stress out so much about the being technically perfect or getting anxious about stage sets. It's like, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm all like you guys too. It's like, yes, the technical skills are good to have them, but if you're not having fun and you're focusing way too much on perfecting, spending 5 hours to do a half-hour set or record a half-hour set, better manage your time, bro. At least that's what I would send back to myself. Any
I got.
Oh,
I'm
good.
sorry. I got a really good advice right at the beginning, and I would say that to myself always. It's still kind of mm, something that I look back on and try to like what you said about getting it, doing a half an hour set of 5 hours and stuff like this. It's just all that matters is the selection of music. Everything else is garnish. I got this from a very, very awesome DJ back then that I respected very much when I wasn't even a DJ. And this is really true. So don't stress on the transitions all that much. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. It just has to be okay. Like you don't butcher it, it's fine.
Like your beat sync can be off a little bit, but as long as the people are on the floor dancing and vibing, you did good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, you guys wish to add as final things?
I would like to say thank you for hosting this party, and to every host in VR-Chat. I know how much work this is and how much time it's time consuming, and it stresses you out because you have to communicate with a lot of people and things go wrong, and DJing means things go wrong too. And so stay positive, and thanks for putting all the work into this, because what we have here is really, really unique and amazing. 10 years from now, we will look back at this time when we had COVID and spent a lot more time at home, and yet we had this amazing community and support network here, and also the creativity that you gain from it, the inspiration that I get from VR. I used to DJ in Second Life before I used VR-Chat, and I made a whole album based on music that I played live in Second Life first. So these environments can be extremely inspiring and push you to try new things and to become more creative and more innovative, and that's very powerful. So thanks to you for hosting, and thanks to every host of VR-Chat parties.
Honestly, no, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
No. Thank you to DJs, because without you DJs, there would not be there would be still an i.W.A.I.T. It would be just me, and you guys would get bored of my sets, 3 hours a week. But yeah, thank you so much. Like without you guys, i.W.A.I.T. would not be where it is as is right now. So I did kind of allude to some of the people in the audience that I have a special announcement after the interview. This special announcement is this has actually been a reverse surprise party for me. Tomorrow is my 36th birthday. So the surprise is on you guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dude.
Yes.
Woo!
But yes, thank you so much, all of you, for being such amazing people to agree to do this for me, just as a regular Sunday event, or Saturday event rather. Sunday for if you're across the pond. But also for next week, next Thursday, technically Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is Virality. I hope to see all of you there. We have some very amazing DJs, playing at Virality. I'm one of them, but I think I'm the one who's feels like the imposter syndrome, like where, yes, I'm going to be on stage, but I don't feel like I should be up on stage. There's not a single day that goes by that I don't feel that when I'm DJing or whatnot. Actually, that's a good question. How do you guys deal with the imposter syndrome? Thinking like, not knowing that feeling that you're not good enough. Always seeing your flaws, never your successes.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
That is. I mean, I still get nervous every time I go on stage or about to start a stream or anything of that sort. It's just like, it's like, do I know what I'm doing? It's like, it usually takes a few tracks before it's like, okay, yeah, I do know what I'm doing.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
Yeah.
The adrenaline in VR kicks in like in a real life club. There's no difference for me. And even the next day, I feel just as exhausted and somehow also satisfied at the same time, like as if I had played in a physical club. There's almost no difference in terms of the physical reaction to it. But yeah, it's great because of the people, because of everyone who was dancing tonight. Thanks everyone for partying with us.
Yes.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Ha-
much.
happy birthday, Kauda.
We're
Happy birthday!
God is probably telling us to fuck
Happy
off.
birthday.
All right, but yeah, like literally, like how do you tell that little gremlin inside your brain to shut up and let you do what you want to do?
Hmm.
I just zone out and just listen into the music. I just focus on that. And that's the one thing I do when I start to panic.
Yeah. Well, and also,
I
all right.
only panic when something technical goes wrong, like a needle breaks or a cable doesn't work right or something. Stream doesn't work, like I had last week. The first 15 minutes, nobody heard my sound. But
Ooh.
yeah, if you keep your calm, you can solve most problems, and then it's okay.
Nice. All right. With that, I am actually going to lead us into the after party. So since all you guys have been so wonderful to do a set for me, it's only fair that I return the favor. So let me get set up.
Yay! Woo! Let's go.